Well, it's that time for me to start getting all these tarantulas ready. I'm going to be putting them into hot water shortly. Just wanted to show you how I store them after I hunt them. This is a batch of spiders that I hunted back in 2002. And we're going to be spreading them out and getting their fangs nicely erect so that they look totally awesome in the frames. Stay tuned for that. So I'm going to put these spiders into their hydration chamber, which is this big pot of hot water mixed with antifungal agents and antibacterial agents. We're gonna keep these spiders fully soaked. It's gonna turn into like a spider soup. And we're gonna keep them in there until they become completely pliable, so I can open them up and splay their legs out without them breaking. In case you're wondering why I'm using forceps and not my fingers, is because they have barbs and I don't want to get my fingers poked and damaged. I've had that experience a few too many times and it's very unpleasant. I'm going to be soaking 20 of these bird-eating tarantulas. These are called Pamphobethus antinus. These bird-eating tarantulas are found in the Amazon jungle. I got these ones specifically in central Peru. These guys can take birds down, monkeys, rabbits, chickens, and they can consume them over a period of a day and a half. So these are already starting to stack on top of each other, and what I want to do is get them all positioned so I can get the next batch of boiling water on top. That way they're completely submerged. You might be wondering if there is a smell. There isn't. When I processed these specimens in the wild while I was there, I removed the guts and I replaced it with cotton, and then I sun-dried it. So there's no decomposition that has taken place, so therefore there's no stink. In fact, the antibacterial and antifungal agents I use make it smell quite nice because it's the smell of cleaner. So you may think that this is gross and unpleasant when in fact it's not. Now it's ready for the water. Have you got it? So there we have it. Now I'm going to let it do its job and then start spreading them.
Now that the spider has been completely hydrated, I'm going to be able to gently ply open the legs and get them to stretch out without them breaking, hopefully. This is actually a pretty delicate process because if you overextend the joints, the legs will just break off. It's possible to repair them, but it's very tedious and it's unnecessary if we can take all the care that's needed at this stage. Now I'm going to gently try to release the fangs from underneath the undercarriage where the palps are located. You can see I'm using the forceps pretty rough to try and dislodge those fangs, but I want those fangs to be visible. And this is the first step. So I'm going to use my forceps and gently massage them forward. Now when I turn over the specimen, my goal is to make sure that those legs don't curl underneath. I want them to be splayed out as I am gently urging the body to touch the base of the foam. And now I'm going to secure the body in place with some pins so that it doesn't rise up. Now, I've already released the fangs, so I thought that I could actually access them from underneath at this point. So you'll see me trying to get the fangs to pop forward, but it's still stuck, and I'm getting a little bit confused and frustrated why they're not coming forward. So with a little bit of effort, I am having to release the specimen, get the fangs out, and then start over the process. And this time I've got the fangs out, and I'm going to gently press the fangs into the foam to keep them out so they don't retract back in. That way they can dry in this position. I have to be very careful not to let those fangs get stuck in the foam as I'm removing it once it's dried, because that's also another point at which they can break easily. So now that I've got those fangs in place, I now set the pins all around the body so that I can get those legs splayed out symmetrically. So the pedipalps are a primitive form of antenna, and I want to make sure that those are nice and erect too. Most people, when they first see a spider of this size, they think that those pedipalps are an extra set of legs, making it look like it has 10 legs. It has only 8 legs, but the pedipalps are huge on these bird-eating tarantulas. I want to make sure that these legs are positioned in such a way that they look like it's in lifelike. I don't want them flattened out. And I know that some people, they like to have the legs flattened out so that they can get the maximum leg span. That's not so important for me because I think that the size of these specimens are already so massive. They'll be filling up the frame quite nicely and impressively. But to have the bends in their knees gives them the impression that when it's on your wall, that it's actually just sitting on your wall behind the glass. And I think that way of looking at the spider is most impressive, rather than having it unnaturally flattened out. Here you can see that I'm using this ruler to be able to make sure that all of the measurements between the legs are indeed equal so that it is symmetrical to the eye once it's dried. I have to make lots of fine adjustments to make sure that each leg matches whatever is on the left to the right.